Okay, so we are going to get started. Um, so like I said, this is to prepare you for your internship search. So hopefully everyone that's on this call is there. You're going to be starting with your um, spring internship search. First of all, the internship objectives. We want you to know that the purpose of your internship is to provide you with an opportunity to develop professionally, acquire real world experiences related to your concentration, and also apply classroom learning to the workplace. So it's kind of a threefold thing that we are wanting you to get from your internship experience. So to be eligible to do your internship, you need to have completed at least 21 credit hours. You need to have completed managerial communication. And as you're planning this, I want you to kind of think about we really only recommend that you take one additional class during your internship semester. And that is because of the time commitment. Most the time commitment is going to be approximately 20 to 22 hours a week. So if you just take one additional class, that's going to be a pretty full week. So just kind of think about that as you are thinking about doing your internship. Okay. So steps for getting a good internship. So hopefully you've already kind of started thinking about your internship. Over 70% of our students do get a job offer where they do their internship. So it's important to be proactive in your search because you want to do an internship at a place that you would enjoy working. So be sure that you are already having those network connections and are able to, reach out to some of those as you are looking. The students who never have a problem finding an internship are those who make their internship through their networking experiences. So it's very important to network. If you've not started networking, you want to do that as soon as possible. Okay. So next, we do ask that all students who are looking for their internship that you attend presentation days. So the next presentation day will be August the 7th, and that's when the summer interns will be doing their presentations and kind of talking about what they did during their internship. This is a great opportunity to make some initial connections if you've not started that. So what we recommend you do is to attend presentation day and bring copies of your resume, that sort of thing. So the next one is going to be August the 7th. And we're going to have a short day on August the 7th. So this is the last Thursday of the summer semester. And it's going to be from 9 o'clock until 1 o'clock here in the Science Building, room 1003. And then the fall internship presentations will be on December the 3rd. That's on study day. And tentatively, that is between 9 and 5 o'clock. It just depends on how many students we have for the fall. And then spring. So those of you who are doing a spring internship, your presentation will be on Thursday, April the 30th. Kind of some dates to keep up with, to, kind of have on your calendar that you'll want to attend. So students, we want you to have your internship secured at least 2 weeks before classes begin. So the target date for the spring semester is to have your internship secured by January the 5th. So that is approximately 2 weeks before the semester starts. The first day of the spring semester is Tuesday, January the 20th. And so our target date is going to be Monday, January the 5th. The last day to submit paperwork to do your internship in the spring is Friday, January the 9th at 10 a.m. And the last day to register for the internship is Monday, January the 12th. So I will send you a copy of this presentation. So you don't have to write everything down. So I'll send you a PDF copy of this, and that way you'll have all of these dates that you'll need to remember, and you'll be able to look back at it. So those are 4 dates that you need to remember for your spring internship. So January the 5th, the target date. January the 9th is the last day to submit paperwork. January the 12th is the last day to register. And then January the 20th is the first day of the spring semester. So those are your important dates that are coming up. Okay, so in order to help our students find internship opportunities, there is a internship opportunity page, and this can be found on the MSPS website. So if you go to the A to Z index on MTSU website, you can come to the Master of Science and Professional Science. And then at the top, you will see a tab that talks about students. And then you can find this internship opportunity page. So I am going to attempt to bring that up real quick. Let's see. So let me stop sharing that and then share my this page. Okay. So this brings you to the MSPS previous internship placement page. And you can click on this link and it will take you to what's called an Airtable. So if you're not familiar with an Airtable is it's basically an online Excel spreadsheet that we kind of have in gallery view, so you can see where previous students have done their internships. So these are listed by company name alphabetically, and there are some important places that you want to look at. There's notes about internships. And if there are any application links, there's an application link. There's also a company website. And then concentrations. So it will tell you what concentration students will be able to work at these particular places. It'll tell you also if there's an MTSU affiliation, like if they're a part of our advisory board or if they're an MSPS alumni. That information will be there. And then the internship address, as well as phone numbers and emails of contacts that we have. And then the very last place will be the semester with student interns. So you can see the last time that they have had interns. So let's see. This Aldi distribution, you can see that engineering management students have done an internship there, and this one was located in Lebanon. And the last semester with student interns was summer of 25. I don't have this updated yet, so I'll get these updated. So you can kind of see a lot of information here. Let's see. So here's another one, Black Abbey. You can tell that this was fermentation science, and it was in Nashville, and their last intern was fall of 2023. So there's a lot of information here, and you can filter this by concentration. And when you go to look at it, there are directions on how to filter it. So I recommend that you download this as an Excel file and filter it for your concentration, then add notes to it as you come across them. Was there a question? Okay, so I'm going to go back to the presentation. Let's see. And let's share that presentation again. Okay, so we should be back on the presentation. This is where we were. So that internship opportunity page is a really good resource, and you need to make sure that you are visiting it quite often because we do have updates that are placed on there. Okay, so there are some things that you need to do once you are offered an internship. You'll have to complete two different forms, and I'm going to show you these forms on the next screen. The first one is the student internship application. And this one is signed by your program coordinator, and then you have an employer data sheet that is signed by your internship supervisor. Then both of these sheets are submitted to Dr. Blair, and then he will give you permission to register. So here are those two forms, and you say that they're fairly similar. The student internship application is the one on the left, and the employer data sheets on the right. You just have information about, you as a student, the company that you're going to do your internship with. You do have an internship description, and we ask that you put the same description on both of these forms. And then the student internship application has a place where you can put personal internship objectives. And this could be things like expanding your networking environment, developing professionally, any kind of things that you want to gain from your internship over and above just the normal internship things that you do. And then there are some agreements there. So your internship is for a minimum of 250 hours. So this 250 hours is spread out across the spring semester. And it's roughly, 19 to 20 hours a week, depending on how early you start that internship. So you have to work at least 250 hours, and you can work over that. So you do earn 3 hours of college credit. So, some of these internships are paid, some of them are not, but do keep in mind that the thing that you need to capitalize on is the experience that you're gaining. So some of the best internships have been unpaid, but that has, helped students to get really, really good jobs when they are finished. So it's a minimum of 250 hours. So both of these are signed and then submitted to Dr. Blair. And then again, he will give you permission to register. So that's all of the things that you've got to do before you can register. And then when you register for the internship course, which is BCED 6910, you do have some academic requirements that is over and above the internship requirement. So I'm going to kind of go over those so you'll know what to expect. You will be doing a class online through D2L, and you will have assignments that you have to submit to Dr. Blair. And all of these are taken together and they are graded, and that's where you get your internship grade. And we'll talk about everything that is put together that kind of goes into what your internship is graded on. So you will be submitting an internship portfolio, which is an electronic portfolio, and you're going to be submitting pieces to this all throughout the spring semester. So first of all, you will be required to turn in a weekly journal. This is a journal that is submitted every Monday by 10 o'clock a.m. And it's essentially, just a recap of what you did the week before. So your first journal, you'll be doing some training, you'll be doing a lot of reading, that sort of thing. So you are, just telling a narrative of what you did during your internship. And it's to bring things back to memory, because at the very end, you are going to have to put together a written report about your internship. So it's important to do these journals on the front end, and then you can use those to develop that written report at the end. So it's going to include any kind of on-the-job assignments that you have to do. You'll also have a culmination of your weekly hours worked and a cumulative hours that's reported every week. So you'll know exactly where you are on your 250-hour requirements. In addition to the weekly journals, you will do a specialist interview in your major area. And on this, I suggest that you get familiar with who is doing their internship during the spring. And if it's someone that's in your concentration, then it would be a good idea to swap supervisors, because this specialist interview has to be someone that you do not work with at your internship. So, swapping those supervisors would be a great way to find those specialists. Also, in this internship portfolio, you'll be submitting your application letter and resume. So I believe Dr. Blair has you kind of tweak your resume and the application letter that you did in managerial communication, and actually submit it as if you were applying for a position at your internship. So you'll basically be tweaking something that you've already done. Okay. So the reflective paper, that is what we were just talking about. So it's a paper that you're going to do in retrospect of your internship experience. Okay, David, you had a question?
Yes, please. Can you please go over the specialist interview? Um,
Back to the specialist interview. Okay. What was
yes,
the question?
yeah. I actually didn't get that part well.
Okay, so you're going to be required to do a specialist interview in your area. So what's your concentration, David?
Actuarial science.
Okay, so you will want to interview someone that is in actuary science that is not at the internship place that you are. So that's why I suggest that you find someone else that's in actuary science that is doing their internship that spring semester, and you swap supervisors.
Okay.
So you're going to interview this person, and you're going to find out what it is, what they do on a day-to-day basis, maybe what they wish they had known before they started their career,
Mm-hmm.
just to get some information from them.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Okay. So you'll also have that reflective paper, and that's where you can go back to those reflective journals, and that will help you put together this paper. So that's the reflective paper that I was talking about. Then Dr. Blair will also request you to put any company literature in your portfolio. And then the very last thing that you will be required to do is to prepare and deliver a 10 to 15-minute PowerPoint presentation. So you're essentially telling us what you did during your internship, what you learned, what the benefits were, what you had trouble with, just to tell us about your experience. So all of these things are submitted through D2L Dropbox, and will eventually put together that digital portfolio. And then your presentation will be on April the 30th, like we talked about earlier. So April the 30th is that Thursday study day at the very end of the semester. So you have your last class day on Wednesday, the 29th. And then April the 30th is your study day and will be your presentation day. And then that next Friday is when finals start. Okay, so any other questions about the academic requirements for the internship course? Okay. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. And when you get into the D2L part for the internship course, Dr. Blair gives you all of these assignments and everything. I just kind of want you to know what to expect. So you will have things due that very first week. So don't get behind on those dates. Okay. So how is your internship graded? So you do receive a grade for your internship. It's not a pass or a fail. You get an actual letter grade. And it takes into consideration several pieces. So your digital portfolio is part of that. So your weekly journals, your specialist interview, your application letter and resume, your reflective paper, company literature, and the digital copy of your presentation. All of that is considered your digital portfolio. So that's one part of your grade. And then you do receive points for your midterm and final evaluation. So you will be evaluated by your internship supervisor, and I will show you that evaluation next. So you'll know exactly what you're going to be evaluated on. You are awarded points for this being turned in. You're not graded according to what's on the evaluation. You just receive points for it being submitted. And this is something that your internship supervisor has to submit. So you're going to have to work with them to make sure that they get it submitted so you get your full points. And then your final grade, it is your digital portfolio, midterm and final reviews, and your presentation. So your presentation is the last part of your final grade. So that is everything that goes into your grade. You will be asked to do an exit survey, but this is not calculated into your final grade at all. It's just the best way for us to get information about the program. So this final survey, this exit survey, we want to know what was good about the program, what may need to be improved about the program, anything that can help us with the future of the Master Professional Science program. So this is turned in through D2L, and it's just because it's the best way to collect these. It doesn't matter what's on there. You're not going to be graded. We just need this for our evaluation purposes. Okay, so any questions about how you're graded for your internship? Okay. This is the intern evaluation. So your employer, your internship supervisor will take care of this evaluation. Everyone receives evaluations in the first block. So that first block, we're looking at interpersonal skills, judgment, punctuality, not necessarily about your concentration. So this is just about you as an employee. We want them to rate you compared to a new employee that they hire. So are you average? Or since you have come through the MSBS program, are you better than average? Are you in the excellent and the good category? So we want to kind of see how our students are rated comparison to other students who have been hired that did not necessarily come through this program. And then the second part is these are things where you are evaluated based on your concentration. So the actuary sciences, you're rated on two additional things: the ability to calculate and explain appropriate actuarial values, premiums, and reserves, and then also the ability to utilize actuary models in insurance applications. So actuary science students are compared to new employees here as well. And it's the same for all concentrations. Some of you have two things that you're evaluated on, and some of you just have one. Like engineering management, we only have you rated as far as the ability to utilize problem-solving skills in a real-world setting as it relates to engineering management. So, half of you have about two things that you're looking at, and the other half of the concentrations has, just that one thing. Okay. So your internship supervisor will do this at midterm and final. So when you complete 125 hours, and then again when you complete 250 hours. So it's the same form. They just do it two different times during the semester and send it to Dr. Blair. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about some things that I need from you as someone who is looking for a spring internship. So by Monday, July the 28th, I need you to submit your resume. Now, everything that we submit for your internship search will be done through Teams. I have a Teams group set up, and I will invite all of you to at come into this Teams section, and you will turn in your submissions through this Teams. So I need a resume. The one that you put together for Dr. Blair and managerial communications is perfect. That's why we have you develop that resume, because you need to have that ready to go here. So we want you to include in this resume your career objective. We want to know your education. So list all of your degrees and list the MSPS degree as well with your expected graduation date. Any work experience you have, list that, even if it's working for, Starbucks or Walmart. Employers just need to see that you have had some kind of work experience. Any kind of activities or honors, like if you have done any shadowing or volunteer work, if you've won any awards during your education or during your career, it's good to show those. And then there's one section that I will need you to add to your resume, and that is a skills section. I know that Dr. Blair usually does not recommend a skills section on your resume, but when you are looking for an internship, it's important that these employers know what you're familiar with. They need to know what you are, very applicable about doing. So if you are very experienced, say in Excel, or Tableau or SAS, any of those things that you know how to do, let them know that. So put down, that you have experience with that. If you have just a general working knowledge, you'll want to indicate that. But if you have mastered something, it's good to show that as well. But, don't put something on your resume that you don't know how to do, because they will question you that when they do interviews for your internships. So again, I need your resume submitted through Teams by Monday, July the 28th. Okay. And then the next thing is you will be doing a weekly internship search update. And this needs to be submitted every week by Monday at 10 a.m. So what you submit on Monday is what you did as far as your internship search from the week prior. So, your first one will be on Monday, and it will take into consideration what you did from the previous Monday through Sunday. So this gives you a place to list where you have applied, where you possibly sent resumes, places that you heard back from, and plans for the next week. So it's important to know where you are in this internship search. If you don't submit these, then I have to assume that you did not do anything that week. And then when you come to the very end, if we don't have a record of where you submitted, then, if you don't find that internship, you may have to postpone your internship to the next semester. We don't want you to do that. So that's why we ask you to submit an update every Monday. So we know exactly where you are, who you've talked with, what kind of results. And, when I see these things, and I can kind of make some suggestions as far as, if I notice that you have submitted somewhere, but you've not followed back up, what's going on with that application? Have you heard back from them? That sort of thing. So it's important to submit this every Monday by 10 a.m. Okay, and your first one will be due on Monday, August the 4th. So this is the week after you submit your resume. So your resume is due on Monday, July the 28th. And then Monday, August the 4th is the time that you submit your first internship search update. So over on the left, you can see that update number 1 is due on Monday, the August 4th. and it's for the week of January the 28th through August the 3rd. And then your second one is due Monday, August the 11th, and it's for August the 4th through August the 10th. So you kind of see how that works. So this gives you dates of exactly what you need to be doing. So the week of needs to correspond to the previous week. And when you submit your file, be sure that you have it named as your last name and then your first name. Then put in weekly internship search update and then the date submitted. And there's an example on the bottom of what it should look like. And if you notice, you have one group where it's number 22 and 23 that I'm combining because this spans the time between Christmas and New Year's. So I just want you to submit one one update for that span of time from December 22nd to January the 4th. Okay, so any questions about the internship search updates or anything? Okay, okay. So what kind of questions do you have now? So any questions overall? Anything? Okay, it looks like everybody's good. So what I will do is I will send you a recap email that will include all the due dates. I will include your internship search form, your how you're evaluated. So that evaluation form, you'll get that. And then also the student internship application, employer data sheet. And then I'll also send a PDF of the presentation. So you have all of those dates and everything that you need. And then I will also invite you to join the Microsoft Teams group. And remember, that's where you will turn in your resume and also your weekly updates. So I look at those, every Monday and Tuesday to make sure things are turned in and see if I have any questions or recommendations. But other than that, that's all I've got. It's really quick. It's stuff that you can look back at and be sure to let me know if you have questions. But we do need you to kind of start looking for your internship within the next couple of weeks. I will tell you that, you may not get a lot of response until after the fall semester starts. But that's okay. This is a time that you can go and, make plans, look at where you want to apply and start getting your thoughts together. And, just send in on those weekly updates that you were planning for your search. These are the places that you're definitely going to apply, stuff like that. So just to kind of keep that in mind. You probably will not start hearing back from people until after, the 1st of September. So that's okay. But we have 26 weeks to find that internship, and that's why we start now. Because it is kind of difficult to secure these places. And, we want to be sure that you are starting early and that you have the best chance of finding a really good internship. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, that's all that I've got. And I will send some information out soon. And I look forward to helping you with your internship search. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Hope you have a good week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Mrs. Zain,
Yes.
will you also send the recording of the Zoom meeting? Will this be available?
Were you here the whole time?
Yes, I was like lagging, so I did join a little late. So I'm just wondering, of course I did like comment to I did come in between, but not from the very start.
Okay, I'll see if I can add that as well.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.